So, you want to become a real pro in Call of Duty Mobile Multiplayer? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to share 5 crucial tips that can completely change the way you play. We'll start with the most important settings, move through the best loadouts, and finally reveal how to find your perfect sensitivity. And let's be real, I know most of you are here for the sensitivity part, but trust me, if you skip the first steps, your sense alone won't save you. So stick with me, because this whole setup works together. Let's begin with the graphics settings. This is one of the most underrated but important steps if you want to perform better in multiplayer. A lot of players think high graphics equals better gameplay, but that's a big mistake. In reality, you want to see enemies as clearly as possible, and you want your device to run smoothly without lag. So here's what you need to do. Open your game settings, go to the graphics section, set your graphics quality to low. Then, set your frame rate to the highest possible option. If your device supports 120 frames per second, make sure to enable it. Smooth gameplay and high frames will always beat fancy graphics. Now let's talk about colors, because spotting enemies faster can be the difference between winning or losing a duel. COD Mobile allows you to add a custom color code, and I've already made a full video on this topic. But to make things easier, I'll drop the exact color code in the description. If for some reason the code doesn't work on your device, you can still apply it manually using the values I've shown on screen. This special color scheme makes enemies stand out clearly against the background. The next small but powerful adjustment is in the effects settings. You should apply specific effects so that you can react faster when you take damage. For example, I recommend changing the hit effect color to yellow. Why yellow? Because red creates stress and panic when you're under fire, while yellow is much calmer and keeps your focus steady during a fight. It may sound simple, but I promise this small change makes a big difference in how you perform under pressure. By combining low graphics and the right custom colors and effects, you'll already notice that your gameplay feels much smoother and enemies become way easier to track. This is the foundation for every pro player setup. Without it, even the best sensitivity or loadout won't help you reach your full potential. Now that we've optimized graphics and visibility, let's move on to the second step, your core gameplay settings. This is where many players make mistakes without even realizing it. One of the most important things you need to check is the always sprint option. A lot of casual players keep this turned on, but in multiplayer, especially in modes like Search and Destroy, this is a huge disadvantage. Why? Because when always sprint is active, you can't walk slowly, which means you're always making footstep noise. Enemies can hear you coming from a mile away, and in high-level games, that usually means you're dead before you even see them. So here's what to do. Turn off always sprint. Instead, adjust your sprint button to around 50 to 70% sensitivity. This way, you can control your movement, walking silently when needed, and sprinting when it's safe. Mastering silent movement is one of the key skills that separates pro players from regular players. Now, let's look at a few more essential settings. These are not random tweaks. They are tested setups I've refined over years of playing and watching top competitive players. With the right settings, your aim and movement will feel much smoother, and you'll have an edge in every duel. While you're watching this, I'm showing the best 2025 multiplayer settings on screen. So feel free to pause and copy them into your own game. Alright, next is sound settings. If you ask any pro, they'll tell you sound is just as important as visuals. In Call of Duty Mobile, footsteps can literally decide the outcome of a fight. If you can't hear them clearly, you're always one step behind your opponent. Go back into your settings, and under Audio and Graphics, scroll to the Sound section. First, turn off the background music. It may sound cool, but in ranked multiplayer, it's only a distraction. Then, look for the ambient volume slider. This controls all the unnecessary noises like wind, birds, and random environment sounds. Set this to 0. With ambient sounds gone, footsteps will be much clearer. Once you've done this, adjust the main volume and effects volume to comfortable levels where gunshots and footsteps stand out. This way, you'll know exactly when and from where an enemy is approaching. Trust me, winning fights is much easier when you hear your enemy before they even see you. Now that your graphics and core settings are locked in, it's time to talk about something that directly impacts every fight you take, your loadouts. Having the right loadout can turn you into a beast in ranked matches, while the wrong setup can make even the best aim useless. Let's start with perks, because they decide your playstyle. If you're mainly using rifles or ARS, the best perk combination for multiplayer is fast recovery, quick fix, and dead silence. Fast recovery keeps your health regeneration quick. Quick fix heals you instantly after each kill, and dead silence makes your footsteps silent, a must-have in multiplayer. For snipers, the setup changes slightly. Use Agile, Amped, and Dead Silence. Agile speeds up your ADS when you scope in. Amped lets you swap weapons faster, and Dead Silence again helps you stay hidden while moving. And if you're a shotgun player, go for Lightweight, Quick Fix, and Dead Silence. Lightweight boosts your movement speed, which is super important for close-range fights. You can swap Lightweight with Skulker if you prefer sneaky, slow movements, but most shotgun mains like that speed boost. Alright, once perks are done, let's move to attachments. This is where many players go wrong. In multiplayer, mobility is king. If your gun is too slow, you'll lose most 1 versus 1s, no matter how good your aim is. For rifles, try to balance between damage range and mobility. Yes, accuracy and control matter, but don't overdo it. Always keep your ADS time and movement speed high, so you can challenge enemies quickly. For snipers, forget about stacking range. Snipers already have enough. Instead, focus only on mobility. You want faster ADS and quicker movement, so you can reposition and take shots faster. And for shotguns, it's the opposite. Range is everything. If your attachments increase your one-shot potential, you'll instantly become deadlier. Add a little mobility boost if you can, but always prioritize extending your effective range. Remember, the perfect loadout isn't just about damage numbers, it's about how comfortable it feels in-game. A fast ADS and smooth movement can often beat higher damage stats. With these loadouts and perks, you'll already notice a huge improvement in your fights. But we're not done yet, because the final section is where the real magic happens. And here we are, the part you've all been waiting for. Sensitivity settings. This is where everything comes together. You can have the best graphics, the best loadouts, even the best attachments. But if your sensitivity is wrong, none of that will matter. This is the #1 mistake I see most players make in COD Mobile Multiplayer. Now, COD Mobile gives us 3 main sensitivity modes: fixed speed, distance acceleration, and speed acceleration. Let me break them down simply. Fixed speed. No matter how fast or slow you move your finger, the sensitivity stays the same. It's consistent, predictable, and great for beginners. Speed acceleration. The faster you move your finger, the faster your aim moves. It allows quick flicks, but it can feel unstable if you're not used to it. Distance acceleration. A mix of both. The center of your movement feels like fixed, but towards the edges, it speeds up like acceleration. It's kind of a hybrid, and many advanced players like it. If you're new or still struggling, I recommend starting with fixed speed. Keep it simple. Once you build muscle memory, you can experiment with the others. Now, here's how you actually find your sensitivity. Go to practice mode or a private match with bots. Swipe your finger across the screen and try to make a full 360-degree turn. If your swipe is too short and you don't make the full circle, increase your sensitivity. If you overspin and go past 360, lower it. The goal is to find that sweet spot where one comfortable swipe equals a perfect 360-degree turn. Next, we need to set up ADS sensitivity. This is for aiming down sights. Do the same test while aiming. If it feels too slow to keep up with moving enemies, increase it slightly. If it's too fast and you keep overshooting, lower it. A special note for snipers. Your scope sensitivity should always be lower. Sniping is about precision, not speed. For rifles, SMGs, and ARs, you want something faster and snappier to react in close fights. Now, let's talk about vertical sensitivity. Always keep it slightly lower than your horizontal. For example, if your horizontal is 100, set your vertical somewhere between 80 to 90. Why? Because most of the time, enemies move left and right, not up and down. Remember, sensitivity is personal. What works for me might not work for you. That's why I won't just give you a code and say, copy this. Instead, I'll leave my personal sensitivity code in the pinned comment. You can try it, but always adjust it to your own comfort. This is the real difference between casual players and pros. Pros spend time perfecting their sensitivity until it feels natural. Once it clicks, you'll notice your aim improving massively. So yeah, this is the most important part of your setup. Combine it with the graphics, settings, audio, loadouts, and attachments we already talked about, and you'll be ready to dominate multiplayer. If this helped you, make sure to drop a like, subscribe for more pro-level guides, and let me know in the comments what you want me to cover in the next video.